Hi everyone, welcome again to another episode on Learning with Vikram Chandana, learning the world by learning our behavior and learning ourselves. Today I'll be talking about satisfaction. Anybody out here for a moment of satisfaction? I'm gonna say Vikram, what are you talking about? Talks about satisfaction. I know we don't talk about satisfaction because we talk about economics. The world follows the money, follow the money. Now, we know economics is important, and so many things happen around economics. You have trade, finance, institutions, education, potentially even music and culture, all going around money. Okay, but the question is, how much money? How much growth do we need? Now, if I had to look at some of the developed nations, they talk about let's get to 3% and all our problems will be taken care of. There'll be no entitlements issues. We'll have sufficient money for everyone. All the debt issues will be taken care, no more deficit, no more deficit spending. You can buy what you want, and everyone will have the money for all the research and the pet projects they want to do. Really? If you get to 4%, will that be enough? Or even for the developing countries who are, let's say, targeting 7 to 8%, having tremendous amount of debt, let's say you get to 8 to 10, 9%. What's going to happen next? Will that take care of all the problems? Or will you start spending more? So the question is, how much is really enough? We spend so much time discussing we're gonna let's do for more government, less government, more capital, more technology, and all of those stuff. The question is, no one talks about the end game. So what? Even if you get to 5%, 6%, 7% growth, so what? Will that be enough? We know the rule of economics. The wants are never satiable, no matter how much money you make. So question is, what exactly are we doing to have that exit valve, to have that complementary force? That complementary force is of satisfaction. Satisfaction which will keep the social harmony intact, which will keep mental health of the individuals involved intact because they'll be satisfied with what they have rather than trying to snatch from other group, another nation, another person, another society, another civilization. So satisfaction is what we need. Now, I thought maybe there is someone out there who is doing satisfaction. Maybe I'm just being crazy, just dreaming things. Maybe there are good number of people around the world, people who think about the world, who care about the world, who want to have one world. But surprisingly, there is nothing for satisfaction. Yes, I see there's a World Happiness Index, all about spending money, how much money you give out. Fine. I thought maybe you have World Economic Forum, maybe you'll have World Satisfaction Forum. Turns out there is none. There is no policy on satisfaction. There is no education you can get from Harvard or MIT or any other institute on satisfaction. Nobody teaches you on satisfaction for that matter. Nobody talks about satisfaction. So how are we going to get to satisfaction? And we know satisfaction is even above economics. Because economics will have limit. Some leader is going to take you 2%, some is going to do 3%. But beyond that, who's going to take? No one. So what fills that space and the void is satisfaction. The void between our achievement and the void and to the other side, the wants or the needs that we have. Now that is something I propose we do and we develop as people who care about the societies, the humanity. I was still looking around. I am self-critical. I thought maybe I'm just dreaming. It's not possible. And I looked at the sustainability movement. I know doing wonderful work, been around for years. There are awards for sustainabilities, business around sustainabilities, initiatives around sustainabilities, forums, international agreements around sustainability. But there's none. Zilch. Our question is, if you do not reduce the per unit consumption, if you do not reduce the consumption of the unit and then the bigger pieces and the societies and civilization, How do you get to sustainability? Sustainability cannot be by only raising the cost, making things more difficult for the people. At some point of time, you have to be satisfied with what you have, which may not be enough, but that's good enough for us to not cause a social unrest, for us to not to indulge in the group conflicts where one group tried to snatch from another group. Okay, so the satisfaction has to be the bedrock of society, civilization, humanity, because that's a bedrock based on which one we have economics growth, and again once we reach to whatever the practical limits are, given the resources and capabilities and technologies we have for the day, fill up the gap between that success versus the desires with the satisfaction factor. So that's my small pitch for satisfaction. I hope interested people who care about humanity will take on this concept. Unfortunately, we don't have anything as of now. You may have World Economic Forum. We don't have World Satisfaction Forum. Okay. So let's have a brainstorming. I encourage all the viewers, audiences to have brainstorming meetings. I'll be happy to participate if you like to have one. No easy answers. I did look around. I said, okay, I'm disappointed. The current societies, the structures, institutions do not do anything for satisfaction. Who else is doing it? And one could say, Vikram, how about religions, spiritual practices, cultures? Maybe they are preaching the concept of satisfaction and they all talk about modesty. They do. But when I look at some of these institutions, the religions, the spiritual practices, basically what I found is one, propagation, two, it's about enforcement, and three, it's about checklist completion. If you're a good so and so person, do this, do this, do this. Okay. But where is the room for self discovery? Until unless we do not have self discovery, know who we are, what our real desires are, maybe we could find satisfaction with ourselves. So that does not seem to be the silver bullet to me, although it seems to be something pretty viable, something which has been on for quite some time. I'm sure it is giving some level of satisfaction, but what we need is something pretty comparable, at least to some degree, in terms of what we invest on the economics front. We need to do something similar for satisfaction. I did spend some time thinking about maybe there has to be some way out. You can't teach satisfaction to anyone. You can't have a degree from Stanford on or from Oxford on satisfaction, but maybe there's something you can do, something that's the most precious thing. And in the culture where I come from, in my language, we say Santosh Dhan, which means satisfaction is the biggest wealth someone has. Okay, there is one uh, thing suggestions I do have for those who are interested in working on this initiative. Perhaps traditions can be that secret source of satisfaction within us. And you can judge it by looking at seeing that the societies which are most unhinged from traditions, from what they got from ancestors and forefathers, are the ones least satisfied and have the most amount of conflicts within the society because you haven't found that source of satisfaction because you do not know who you are. And our concept of who we are, in a way, also comes from the tradition that we have, the knowledge and the habits and the practices which are passed on from generations to the progeny and to the following young people. Perhaps tradition could be the answer. Now, what exactly are traditions? Traditions are finding satisfaction or maybe even happiness with very little things. So, let's say some society, some families have tradition of having a bonfire in the new year. You could do that. Maybe some families have a summer vacation. They launch by getting together, making strawberry ice cream. It could be a tradition of on a particular religious day, you go out and you feed the birds. It could be any simple thing, a thing that passes on from one generation to another. And what happens when a thing is passed on from one generation to another? It is there in your genes. It is there when you are very young and impressionable. and you caught on to that habit. Anything that relates you to your childhood will always be a source of comfort and satisfaction. Okay, that will give you a sense of security because it also gives you a self identity. So perhaps we can look at how best we can use and retain traditions to give us, the individuals and the family, the sense of satisfaction. And these traditions not only give us satisfaction, they also give us wisdom, the wisdom of lifetimes of us and all our ancestors. Let's look at that, and let's look at satisfaction and see if that can really help us making a better society, a better humanity for all of us. Thank you. Until I see you next time, have a good day and namaste. Bye.